Okay, this next company that I did 3 different projects for, or brought in 3 different times, with a total of 4 projects. The first one was a reporting project. They had an existing, if you're familiar with Microsoft's reporting services, that is the technology that they were using, and they had it for that particular application that they hired me to do work on. They had a 2 product matrix that had some very complex reporting needs. They were expanding to a 16 product matrix, and that's what they brought me in for, was to create a reporting system that would work and had the same look and feel of their current 2 product matrix system, but they wanted 16 products to be able to be controlled in the same environment. So you can imagine the complexity of doing that was significant. And so the way I attacked that was Microsoft Reporting Services. They have a technology, they call them custom assemblies. Essentially what that is it's just a class library, but that's what they refer to it as. And so what I did is I wrote an entire reporting framework that took all the code, all the custom code that you would typically find in a report, that was and is supported within that technology, stripped all that out. And what that did for me then is I was able to use the report and the interface as a report, much like you would look at a Windows, or not a Windows, but a web style application, where you're taking input and then based on that input back on the server you're doing something. So I essentially took, it's fairly unique in reporting services, in that I hadn't seen anyone do that at that point, but I just knew that it should work, and it did work very well. But essentially what happens is you take the report and you basically, the first look at the report, it's like going to any style ASP.NET style reporting page. You have drop downs that get automatically populated depending upon the report, and that's all generated dynamically back in the custom assembly, which then gets populated in the report. Then the client makes their choices, submits it, and now normally what happens on the client for a typical report then is that a lot of the coding is done right within the report. Not only is that slow, but it greatly reduces what you can do. So what I did is I changed that architecture and flow, where the data, the request data, was not processed on the report, but that request is sent back to the custom assembly, which then had the full power of stored procedures, any programmatic algorithms that you wanted to use, and business rules. So you had the full power of .NET, process that data, produce a very detailed data set, and then return that to the report. And then the report would take that and display it. Now that architecture works so well that after we were done building it and doing testing, and we involved their customer support people and their reporting people in the process to ensure that we didn't miss anything. But the defect rate, I think, was 2 or 3 defects, and we were able to go to full production. So that project I was very happy with.